Hello, good evening. It's about, let me see what time it is, like 6 o'clock in the evening, and I am showing you the Invincibelle, Wee White hydrangea. It's just started to go into bloom, so you can see that when it's the growth is, the blooms are just newly formed. They kind of look like that, and then eventually they grow bigger and turn into that, and then eventually you can see that they turn a little bit of whitish kind of, and then it becomes sort of like that, like this, and then now it's turned into like more whitish color, and you can see as it ages, it's gonna turn more white throughout the season. So it's actually quite pretty. It's so delicate, and I only have one bush of it because when I bought it last year, I think it was a sale at Sheridan Nursery sometimes in mid-July or near the end of July, and they didn't have too many of these left, so I was only able to grab one. But you know what, I don't really have a lot of space for it, so even if I were able to grab more, I probably wouldn't have anywhere else to put it. I mean, I could put one in the back there, but that would then take up the space of this firelight hydrangea. But this is the earliest blooming hydrangea for me. This is an arborescent type of smooth hydrangea, so I'll show you the tag. So this is what it looks like. Sorry, I'm gonna move the angle a bit so the sunlight is not too harsh. I'll go in the shade. So it looks like this. It's called Invincibelle Wee White. Actually, I'm gonna move away from there. So it's called Invincibelle Wee White, and you can see eventually it's gonna look like that, like snow caps. And look at the stats on these. So it's supposed to grow, the spacing, you can see that it's supposed to be about dimensions about 1 to 2.5 feet tall and wide. And you're supposed to space it out 1 to 3 feet wide. It's supposed to bloom early summer through fall. And yeah, and I love these because they bloom on new wood. So if you accidentally break the branches or the branches die back, new stems will come up from the ground and you will always get flowers. So unlike some of the big leaf macrophylla hydrangeas that I have, when the stems die back, I lose all of the flowers that bloom on old wood, and I only get the ones that bloom on new wood. And with those that bloom on new wood, it takes a little longer for the blooms to develop. So I'll show you an example that I have here. Like here I have two of these. These are the blue jangles. Let's Dance Hydrangea Macrophylla. So you can see everything, we didn't have a lot of snow cover this past winter, so all the stems pretty much die back, so I had to cut it all the way back. And so these are all new growth that's come up, and I can't see any blooms on these yet. So it looks like I'm gonna have to wait a little while until the flowers that bloom on the new wood will form. I mean, they will come. They'll just come later in the season. I mean, some people intentionally do this so they have some macrophyllas, they protect them, like they do the winter protection, so that they get some that will bloom on old wood, and then they don't protect the others so that those will only come up, the new growth will come up, and then they will bloom on new wood. So they kind of stagger the blooming time a bit. But I don't know. I mean, I've never had to protect these. These have been here for about 3 years now, and I've never had to protect them. And every year I get at least 5 to 6 blooms on old wood, and then I get a few more later in the season with the new growth. But this year, like I said, the past winter we didn't have a lot of snow cover, so I haven't So I think the old wood stems die, and so I'm probably not gonna get any of the flowers with these. I have some Endless Summer Original Bloom Shock and Twist and Shout, which are doing a little bit better than these, but the main one that I like to show today is actually the Invincibelle Wee White, which I love because, like I said, I love things that bloom early, and then you can enjoy the blooms for the rest of the season. So especially this one, because it comes at a time when all the other hydrangeas are not in bloom yet. So like I have a Firelight here that's like the buds, the broccoli stage is forming, and then my Limelight, it's forming. The one that kind of follows like soon to bloom after the Wee White, it's the Bobo. So you can see that I have a lot of Bobo hydrangea here. These also bloom earlier relative to the other hydrangeas, and you can see like there are different stages. So this one here, there's one, there's another one here, and then I've got another one here, and then I've got a small one here that's just planted this year, and then I've got a bigger one here. So you can see like this is the furthest along of the blooms compared to the other ones, the other bobos. And then the bobo, like I said, compared to the other panicle hydrangeas, these bloom the earliest for me. And then soon after the bobos bloom, I also have a Quickfire standard at the front of the house that also blooms relatively close within the same time frame as the bobo here. So yeah, so this is sort of like a little highlight of the Invincibelle Wee White, which is my favorite right now because, like I said, it blooms earliest, and it also blooms on new wood, so you never have to worry about no flowers for that year because you will always get it with the new stems that come up from the ground. So I'm gonna stop the video here, and if you like to see more of the stuff around the house or around the garden, please give a thumb up and subscribe, so it can just kind of keep on motivating me to share more of my videos. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye bye. See you next time.